everyone, welcome to part 2 of this rather mammoth page. Well, the first part was quite a mammoth video, I think, for me anyway. So we don't have too many elements left. They're a little bit fiddly, but I'm sure we can get them sorted. Now we have our ants that I'm going to do next. Now I quite like them to do them in the raisin colour, which I think I may only have, if I'm just going to double check. Yeah, I only have in my Chromaflow. So I'm going to use this raisin. Let's come in a bit closer before we get going. Now I'm sort of thinking that ants, you know, you could do them black, but it's a bit harsh. And I think this will go well with our sort of earthy tone. I'm just going to go for it. It's more vibrant than our mushrooms. Not sure I'm going to make the legs and stick out from the body. Stand out, not stick out. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to do the legs first. Where's his other leg? Where are his other legs? I guess they're behind. See, these one we can see. But anyway, I guess they're behind. Now, maybe, see, I don't really want to do these in black because I think they might look a bit vicious, and I don't want him to look like he's scary. I want him to look like he's friendly, and he's just like using these to carry rather than to sort of be scary, if you know what I mean. I'm going to fade this as I go up the head. I want it to be a bit lighter on the top. Like that. And then we need the eyelid. I'm going to make it a bit darker top and bottom. Now, there we go. So if we do the body a little bit lighter like the head, then the limbs will sort of stand out in front. I'm going to sort of ignore that patterning and just fade it up and see how that works out. I know I've gone over that bit. So this bit I'm going to do just a bit lighter, like the body. Yeah, I'm happy with that. You keep going like that. I wasn't quite sure how it would work out. But I hope everyone's good today. I hope you're having a good day. You know, maybe colouring along, maybe just listening. I don't know. I hope so anyway. I hope things are going well. I was just reading a news article actually which interested me. It was about rain, and it said walking in the rain. Sorry, let's do it properly, explain it properly. So I've done a little bit of darker here where we've got this sort of change in section. I'm just going to do a little bit here as well, like that. I'm not necessarily going over this patterning bit, just sort of showing where the sort of body sections are. There we go. And do the same with this other one. He is identical, and I think it's nice to match them up. Yes, and it was saying how walking in the rain can be really good for our mental health. Now, how's that? Well, the article said they weren't 100% sure, but they thought, well, they know that rain produces negative ions. Now, anyone who's done chemistry might have some idea what that is, but otherwise, maybe not, I don't know. And that that these somehow caused a positive mood. So next time it's absolutely chucking it down with rain, off you go. Go out for a walk. Yeah, it doesn't feel like very appealing, does it? But I did go out in the rain today, and it was just a misty rain. It wasn't really heavy, and I'm happy. But then, who's to say I wouldn't have been anyway? I'm generally happy. So I'm not sure that it would have made a huge difference. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm a sort of generally positive, happy person. I think partly was from the sort of course, positive thinking / stress reducing / goal setting course that I did when I was Ooh, well, I probably started when I was about early 20s, I suppose. And I actually revisited the course by listening to it. We have it on CD. I'm going to do his eyes next because I don't want to forget. I've just grabbed this black. Can you see these pupils here? I'm just going to fill those in. Our other bug. I might do our other bug's eyes too. Just while I've got my black out. Can you see there's these two circles? I think they're supposed to be like white reflection marks. So I'm going to go around those and leave them white. And just colour in that bit. There we go. That's it. We're going to come back up for a minute. Although I think I've pretty much finished those. If you wish, you could get a darker colour and go over some of the patterning. But to be honest, I'm quite happy without doing that. But I do need to sort out these mushrooms because I'm not happy with them. Let's come out a little bit and have a look at them. They're quite wishy-washy, aren't they? What I think I might do is grab this pencil. Now this is the strawberry from the Chromaflow. Ooh, that was a big bang. I'm just turning my pencil case over and I let go. I'm sorry. I do have a strawberry in the Lightfast as well, actually. So I'm going to use that one because it's a bit longer. It's a good reason, isn't it? So I'm going to grab this strawberry. And let's start with this one is the messiest. I'm going to start here. And I'm going to put down quite an intense amount here. And then sort of fade it off a bit. It isn't doing what I expected it to do. I didn't think it would sit right on top like it has. I thought it would mix up with the colour a bit more. But anyway. It is what it is, and it is brighter, which is, and less wishy-washy, which is what I wanted to achieve. So there we go. So I'm going to work my way across. If you like the colour it was before, and you didn't want to change it, you don't, you know, leave it as it is, or you can just add a thinner layer of this, or add a second layer of the Ruby Earth, wasn't it? Ruby Earth. That's right. This is much more vibrant than I'd expected. Perhaps I shouldn't have pressed so hard. Never mind. Yeah, so apparently walking in the rain is good for us. So good for our mental health. So there we go. We wouldn't think that, would we? My son always has said that he likes it because it's cool and refreshing. You know, I mean, it's not always that cool and refreshing when it's a really cold day. But I guess if it's that cold, we get snow. But I thought it was very interesting, and because we had a lot of rain lately in the UK, I think it's because it's spring. I think people seem to think it's more rainy, but I'm not convinced. I don't know, because it always rains in spring, you know. What is it? March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers. I guess we're out of May now, so it's been raining most of May. But the plants are absolutely thriving. Like my garden is going mad. I mean, I don't have that many plants, weeds as well. They're going mad too. And the canal path is just like sprung up almost out of nowhere. You know, all the plants and things. It's very pretty. All the flowers, grasses, all sorts. I need to weed my garden though. Unfortunately, it's like ivy and bindweed. There's some, I think my husband said what's it called? Something willow. Did you say meadow willow? Willow herb? Willow herb? Maybe? Willow weed? I don't know. Anyway, some sort of weed that's he wants me to get rid of quickly because he says once it's seed you can't get rid of it. But it didn't look that harmful. But anyway, I will try and do that, get round to it soonish. It's like you keep thinking, oh, when it's dry I'll go and do that. When? Never is. anyway. But it's I just need to make the time, really. It's an excuse, you know, because I'd rather sit here and make a video than go out and weed the garden. Who wouldn't? Well, somebody would be happy at weeding, but not me. It doesn't take me long. My garden's really small, and it isn't really a garden. I mean, if I was in America, I'd call it a yard. There's no grass. It's got like gravel, so it's more like a sort of backyard. It's just we don't use that terminology here. We say garden even if it isn't, you know. And pots and weeds. Pots and weeds, that's my garden. There are some poppies growing in the gravel, and the bluebells have gone over and they've got seed pods on them. And what else is going on in my garden? Yeah, my bleeding hearts is starting to go over. I usually wait for the flowers to all disappear before I pull it up, or because it's a sort of tuber. It's such fun. You can just sort of pull the leaves and they just pop off the sort of base, and it's fun. I love doing that. So I always look forward to it, but I try not to do it too early, because I'm sort of assuming the goodness goes back into the plant, so I shouldn't really do it too early. But I've got a pot which has got a hebe in it, and in the middle of the pot some crocuses grew and some grass, and its poor hebe is just swamped by crocuses and grass. So I need to go and sort that out at some point. I keep colouring over the little circles, don't I? And so yeah, I need to do something really with that. So we're getting somewhere now. And if I look at this compared with the other two, which I will in a minute when I've finished fiddle-faddling around with it, I can see that I much prefer the colour. See, I've done it a little bit darker around here, a bit lighter here, so it looks a bit more shapely. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then the next one, so a bit more intense here, so just a few more layers. And along the bottom. And then we can do a bit less as we come through to the centre. Yeah, I was chatting to my sister while I was on my coffee break between videos, and she was saying that she'd been to the community grocery store, and what they have is they have a group of people that go and collect sort of unwanted food from supermarkets. So where the supermarket is either overstocked or the food's sort of slightly past its use by date or whatever, they donate it, and the shop charges for it though. And she said she pays £5 and she can get 12 items, and that 12 items can be anything. And she said today, for example, one item would be 2 courgettes, or one item would be 3 pears, just because they had an excess of those and things like that. And she bought fruit and veg and things like that. She said it was a good bargain. Wasn't convinced it was, to be honest, for what she got and the money she paid, but anyway. She does like the fact that it helps prevent waste, which is good. But yeah, I don't know if we have those sorts of things around here, but it's not the sort of thing that I would be interested in, really. I'd rather leave it for people who really need it, you know. But as I say, I'm not convinced it's even that cheap. But she said you can get, because she got mainly fruit and veg, maybe it wasn't, because it's quite cheap. But she said there was like meat and things, which she's a vegan, she doesn't eat meat. So if you get meat within that money, that might help, because meat is obviously really expensive. She said she did get some vegan burger things, and they would have been £3 for a box. So just for that was quite good. But anyway, she says it's an hour's walk to the shop, but I think she had the car today. Her husband was at work, and he'd cycled to the train station, I think. Right, I am happy with those. Now they still aren't perfectly neat, and I could fiddle and faddle with them a bit more, but what I'm going to do is just blow my nose. I just want to put some shadow underneath the little circles, and I'm just trying to choose my colour. I'm quite tempted to use the raisin actually that we used for our ants, because it's just a good dark reddish colour, and I can sharpen it to a fine point because it's just a little Chromaflow. So I'm going to just pop a bit underneath all of our little circular bits, the gemstones and the white ones. And then we'll, sorry, it's taking a bit of concentration, so I've gone quiet. I was also talking to my friend Mary while I was on my coffee break. She'd been struggling to sleep, but she'd been having caffeine. When we talked about it, she realised she'd been drinking lots of caffeine, and of course right up to bedtime. And what did I learn about caffeine? If you have one at breakfast, caffeinated coffee or whatever, it's still in your system by bedtime. So if you're having them later in the day, you know, it's hard to sleep. But I gave up caffeine when I was about 16, so I'm just not used to it. I've probably had it on the odd occasion since, you know, when a place hasn't had a decaf option, tea and coffee. In the UK here, we don't have huge amounts of caffeinated fizzy drinks. We have Coke, various brands of Coke, or cola, I should say, various brands of cola. We have caffeine in energy drinks, and that's it really, and some medication has it in as well, like particularly cold and flu medication, because it helps you, give you some extra energy that you might need if you're feeling poorly. But apart from that sort of sports drinks and stuff, we don't really have loads of caffeinated soda or fizzy drinks in the same way. I know from talking to a few people in the US, it seems like a lot of your sodas, even your sort of like your Dr. Pepper, for example, has caffeine. I'm sure we don't in the UK. I'm sure we don't have caffeine in our Dr. Pepper. I don't know though. I don't drink that sort of thing. I can't drink fizz. It makes my tummy hurt. Just because I can't get rid of the gas. So it's horrible. So I don't drink it. I don't really look at them. I don't buy them for the kids either. If we have a fizzy drink, it's apple ties. Apple ties is just carbonated apple juice. And my mum buys fizzy water. It's just carbonated water. And that's all they have really. My boys have never had a Coca-Cola. I was saying that to my sister. She says, to your knowledge. I was like, why would they lie? I've never bought it for them, but if they want to buy it with their own money, that's up to them. They're just not interested. They don't like spending their own money anyway. I don't blame them. Keep hold of it. Save it for when you've got something really important to buy, not drink, you know. Save it up when you need a deposit in a house or flat. No, it's a very noisy train going by then. But I know my mic doesn't normally pick them up. Okay, I've done that quite quickly and roughly. There we are. Now, I'm trying to think about what to do with these little circles because I've coloured over them quite a lot in red. I think what I'm going to do is go over them in a white pen. I'm going to do that now, which is a bit dangerous because I'll probably smudge it. Just trying to find the right pen. And I want a thick pen, so I've picked my number 10 Gellyroll. Now I'm going to go over the white ones and take a bit of the top away as well. Just a little bit. And then colour over any bits that I've done in red. And I'm hoping that the red doesn't bleed into the white. I'm not going to do this on the gemstones. I'm going to leave those for now. So to recap, just going over any bits of red and the top. There we go. I've been following the tennis a little bit, although when this video goes out it'll be over, but I've been watching listening to the radio. They have the French Open tennis on the radio, but yesterday was the first day and loads of people got knocked out. So our British player Andy Murray, who used to be very good, won Wimbledon a few times and the Olympics, I think. Definitely had one Olympic medal. He had one in doubles. I don't know. Anyway, he got knocked out in the first round, and then one of our women got knocked out. She's not very highly ranked. I mean, so that one wasn't a huge surprise. And although I think it was felt that she might do well, but next round she would have faced someone really good, so she might have not got that far. Then Nadal got knocked out, and who else got knocked out? Oh, today our top British player got knocked out, Norrie. So I think we've got one left. No, yesterday, oh, I don't know. Anyway, we've got one player left, one Brit left in the singles, got some in the doubles, and our wheelchair Brits are really good. So wait for them. They usually win. So we'll see. Of course, they don't get the coverage like the, I mean, the men get the most, then the women, then the men's doubles, then the women's doubles, then the mixed doubles. I actually find the mixed doubles the best, the most entertaining, but never mind. That's actually what Andy Murray won. He won, was it silver in the mixed doubles in one Olympics? Maybe it was London Olympics, I don't know. Anyway, in Paris this year, which is, it's rather nice to have the Olympics in Europe. Sorry, Americans, but it means that that we're in almost the right time zone. I think might be an hour different. I don't know. Might be in the same one. I'm not sure, but either way, it means that we get to watch most of it, which is good. So bring it on, I say. But I think it's after our election. I was talking about the election in the last video. And yeah, it's going to be sort of everyone's going to be talking about it, I guess. And then just when we think it's all over, you still got the American elections. That'll all be in our news as well, because we always get American election news too. Right, I'm going to sort of leave that for a bit and let it dry while we do this big bug here. Need to come out of it. It's huge, isn't it? Look at his tail. So I could do a similar colour to our ants, but I don't think I will. Looking at him, he's different. She looks a bit more like a ladybird than an ant. So I'm going to have a look at my colours. I could go for this sort of merlot. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, yes, I think that'll work. I'm just pondering a plan. Merlot. So this is a really dark, intense red. Now, how do we Do we do the whole bug in this colour? Yeah, like we did the ants. Let's start with this tail. Let's start dark here. You can now see the colour. It's a really dark. I'm going to fade it towards the middle, look. And I'm going to start again at the tip, dark. And then fade it up towards the middle. You can see how it's quite a dark, almost brownish red. I would say it's almost a caput mortuum or burnt carmine sort of colour. I'm talking polychromos now. That's the language I understand, polychromos. Now I've also been thinking about background here. I'm a little bit worried that these pencils are a bit smudgy, so I'm certainly not going to do a, well, I'm sort of being put off thinking about doing a pastel background, but also because the Derwent drawing pencils are so soft, we could potentially just use those as a background, but do we have the right colour is the question. I don't know the answer to my question. Because what colour would you do? I mean, we've got these sort of magical dots above our bug, which I don't think are stars or snow or, you know, so I don't think we need to worry about those in the sense of trying to make it a night sky or whatever. We could, but I don't think this will be going on at night, you know. Now, I've got a really itchy eye. There we go, I had a little something in there. Now the legs I'm going to do really dark, intensely, like I did for the ants. Now this little chappie's got, or rather large chappie's got a crown on. So we'll have a think about that. And the fact that this treasure on top of here, so it's like it's inside some sort of special holder. And I'm thinking, is that also going to be metal like the crown? I think I'd quite like it to be. I'm going to do these little ones as well. These antennae. Trying to avoid putting my hand down in the wet white pen. It should be dry by now, to be honest. I usually leave it a really long time because I'm just extra cautious, but it doesn't necessarily need that long. Now, on our ants, we completely ignored the markings on the body, and I'm very tempted to do the same thing here. I can do these bits a little bit lighter, just less layers. And on our ants, we did the body even lighter, but we started it darkish at the bottom. Let's just do these bits as well. How are we doing for time? Oh, that's okay. Got a long time. Do need to think about cooking a meal at some point today, but not yet. We don't need long, we need half an hour to cook, so it's a little bit darker at the bottom, lighter at the top, like we did for our ants, but I'm thinking there might be just a little dark line around the crown there for some shadow. Just gonna tidy that bit up a little bit, and then on the neck, it's like it's got a little exoskeleton, isn't it? A bit darker here, and then just sort of fade it up here. And they're nice soft pencils, so you can do that quite easily. I don't have a drawing pencil in this colour though, which would make it even easier because they're even softer, but this is pretty good, pretty easy I think. So just sort of make it light at the top. See, I definitely think he's a ladybird. She? Are all ladybirds girls? I don't think so. I think that's why in America call them ladybugs, because you know they're not all girls. We obviously just think they are here. Of course they're all girls, you know. That would work biology wise, wouldn't it? Saw one the other day actually, little ladybird. I saw one on our balcony, little red one, black spots. They're the cute ones, aren't they? And then I saw one along the canal path and it was black with red spots. That was interesting. There we go. I'm just having a look. I think it's okay like that. It might maybe a bit boring. If you want, you could do some darker bits where the patterns are and things. I don't really want to. I want to keep it plain like the ants. I'll decide if I think it's too dull, but we've got the crown to do. Now we need to do gold for the crown and this, so we're going to do that next. Let's bring those a bit more into centre. So we need to start with a dark brown. I'm just looking at the colour range that I've got. Okay, I'm going to start, yes, with the Van Dyke brown. Okay, it needs to be sharper than this though. There we go. I might need some help from my Chromaflows. So this on the edge, this is our darkest colour. On the, there. And here. I'm just going to bring it in a tad here. Like that. I want to make that seem really dark. Because it's sort of behind. It'll sort of be shadowy. And I'm going to put a little bit under our gemstones. There we go. Now this one, I'm going to do it, I don't know what this is. I've got no idea. This thing, I'm going to make it dark in here. This is like a sort of ring. And then I'm thinking in this bit here, I'll make it dark inside there like that. And fade it. So dark on this bit. I'll sort of then fade it. But here not quite so dark, so a little bit of this, but not quite such a dark layer like that. Now this, I think I'm going to make it like a metal ring. I've got no idea what it could be, so I'm just doing that and that. Just checking if there's any more metal. I think that's it. Now I want a lighter brown. I'm seeing what I've got. I've got a brown ochre in my actually I might, what's that? Is that a brown ochre? Yeah, I've got a brown ochre in the drawing pencils, but I wanted something that I could sharpen to a finer point. The keep points, I've got a brown ochre in the Lightfast. And what we're going to do is just extend this colour a bit like that. We're not gonna need to do anything underneath the gemstones like we did with our first colour. There we go. And then the same here, so over the top of what we've got here. And then just take it further in like that. And then extending this bit here, and then this bit. So I figured this bit is standing out, sticking out a bit more, so it needs to be a little bit lighter. And then this bit. Okay, now we want a sort of goldish yellowish colour. Is that a bronze? I don't think that's quite what I'm looking for. Can I look in my yellows, see what I've got? Not really. I have a mustard. What do we have in the chrome? I think the Chromaflow has. I'm thinking maybe this golden sun from the Chromaflow is what I'm looking for next. Let's give it a sharpen. Now, I've always advised that if your sharpener's blunt, then your pencils break. So you should always make sure that you keep you don't use your sharpeners and get too blunt. But I find that with Derwent that's even more important. They're much more sensitive to breaking. And there are other advice that people will give. You can see how it's now looking quite gold. Hopefully we'll get the same impact here. How people say turn the sharpener and not the pencil, because if you turn the pencil you're sort of pushing it against the blade and making it more likely to break. And certain types of sharpener are better. Now Derwent has told me that I should use for Derwent pencils the Derwent branded sharpener, which is the Super Point. Mine's the mini, but I don't think they're all called the mini. It's just because mine's smaller. But hand crank is probably better. Right, I'm happy with how this is looking. You could just extend that and make that your final colour, but I want to add in a mustard colour. Do I want mustard? Yeah. So I'm going to give it a sharpen. This will be my final colour. Here it is, mustard. Now I want to leave a tiny bit of white on the tips of those. These, I'm going to leave a bit of white in the middle. Just in between those gemstones. There we go, a bit of shine. Same on this one, so go over all of it because it adds a nice bright warmth. And here, but leave a little bit of white in the centre. I find not too much, just a tad, and then it looks a bit shiny. We'll do the same here. Should have done that in the mushroom colour. Do it in a minute. If anyone knows what this is, I'd love you to tell me, because I'm really curious. I know I've done it wrong. I think is it a mirror? I just don't know. Okay, I'm just going to do that little space there with the mushroom colour. We finished it off with a strawberry, didn't we? So I'm going to try the strawberry in there and see if it works. Yeah, that will do. I should really have the ruby earth under it, but I think that's fine. Now, gemstones. I have decided that I want to do them in a really sort of proper bright red. This is the Derwent red. It's very vibrant, and that's what I want from my gemstones. Right, we're going to start with we just start at the top and work down. So on the crown, we're going to go around the edge and then just leave a white bit in the middle. I'm just going slowly and making it less till the centre. I hope you can see. So around and then just less layers towards the middle. This one I put a little bit near the crown as well. It's quite hard, it's a bit small. Now on this one we're going to leave that white bit. It's quite difficult. Now here we're going to make it lighter towards the centre. There he is. There's his crown. Next, these. Now, The pieces facing the bottom are going to be darker. And this bit I'm thinking might fade towards the top. And then I think these might be reasonably see-through, so I might just see a little bit through. Like that. This one again, sort of fade it towards the top. And then you can even leave some white, as if you've got a bit of shine on there. I'm trying to do the ones that are sort of facing downwards, more a bit darker, because I think they might have a bit of shadow, more shadow in them. This side a little bit lighter, and then this side sort of lightest, as if the light's catching it on the top there. Now this one, we've got this big flat surface. What I'm going to do with this is fade, taper off completely, come up here, and then fade. Okay, so it looks shiny like that. And then this side I shall do a little bit darker. And the same on this side. Now here we don't really have one that's facing down, they're just opposite. Now here we've got another sort of flat surface. I'm going to do the same thing. Fade off. Fade off. I think this red is quite good. It really brings attention to the gems, because they're such a sort of bright colour compared to the rest of the page, but they fit in with the sort of colour scheme. Now some people do gemstones with quite a bit of black in, or lots of different shades of colour. I'm trying to just keep them really simple because I know they can be daunting. So we've got, oops, let's move along so you can see them all across the bottom here. So these are a bit odd. I'm going to just fill in those edges like that, and then maybe do this in the way that I did those flat surfaces, so leave a bit in the centre. Like that. Don't be afraid to leave white paper to give the impression that it's sort of a little bit shiny. It can make quite a big difference. And you can always fit it in after if you don't like it. And it's easier than trying to rub it out, especially with red, because red will stain your paper. Once it's down, it's down. So it's I think I can do this flat surface with this fade. Like that. I can smell a weird smell. I'm going to describe it to you and think I'm mad. It smells like classrooms with a faint hint of chemistry lab. I don't know what's going on in my brain. My stomach's growling too. So I'm just being quite casual and quick with these. Not really sure quite how they would look. Got this one I'm going to come back to now, so that we don't forget. I'm going to make that quite light on the top. Let's do this one next. Now I'm definitely going to use my drawing pencils for the background. Just got to try and decide on what colour. I'm going to have a look at the blues, but I think the blue is really, there's either a sort of indigo-y inky blue, which is far too, I don't know what to do with this bit. What's that? Or whether to, yeah, I'm going to have a look at the blues. I don't want like the inky blue, the indigo, it's far too dark. But there might be, I've got a feeling there's a lighter one, but I don't know yet. Have a quick look. I don't really want to do it green because we've got a lot of green going on already. I think I'm just going to do that bit dark. I don't really know what it is. Now we have got to do all the little gemstones on the tops of our mushrooms now. I've sharpened my pencil and I'm going to try and make them just get brighter as we go up. Like that. So darker down here and brighter up there. And these just brighter towards the middle. Now you can see now that this colour does show up on our mushrooms quite well. I think with that centre bit it's good to just put, say, just one line over it, so it looks like you've put a bit of red on there but it's shining. Okay. Nearly forgot about doing these. Did you realise? I bet you did. You think she's forgotten? She's forgotten. Oh dear. So the little dots in the sky, it's always quite tricky to know what to do with those as well. You know, should they be red, like the colour as if red's coming off the gemstones? Should they be sparkles, white, magic, you know, what are they? I don't know the answer to what are they. So, as I say, it's a little bit tricky. Right, there we go. There's all our gemstones done. Now you could make them a lot darker if you wanted. I'm happy with them like this. Now, let's have a look at our blues. What have we got? We have got a Solway blue. Now I'm just going to scribble with that and see what colour it is. It's very grey. Oh, we've got a smoke blue, which looks green. I think the smoke blue is going to be better. That's what I'm going to use. Now our ground just starts here, so I'm going to sort of try and take our edge so we've got a bit of a border around, because the ground doesn't go right down to the bottom. So I'm just going to start in here. Now when you're doing sky, it is best to go this way, horizontally if you can. Colouring between these bits is a little bit fiddly. Because if you do see lines in what you've coloured, it makes more sense to be horizontal. Now I'm just adjusting in my seat a little bit. I'm going to sharpen this, it's too blunt for me getting in under here. And then I've got to get around this sort of tail bit and work out where my edge is. I might do just a tad here. I'm thinking I probably won't try and keep it straight, just do it a bit ragged. I think it'll be easier. You could get your ruler and draw a straight line if you want a straight edge. I don't have a ruler, so I'm just sort of going to go to there. That'll do. Let's go back to this bit. Now our white paint should be dry now, so we should be able to put our hands over them if we need to. Now I quite like leaving those little dots white, but you might feel that you want to colour them in, but I think they are showing up. Now if putting in a background, they're showing up. I hope you can see what I mean, although the background is quite faint. Or that they... Now here I just smudged a bit. It's quite... These are quite smudgy. I'm just making myself some room. It's quite awkward doing this. Normally I would tip my book a little bit, but I don't want to do that. I want it to be the right way up for you. So it looks fairly green, but I don't think it matters because we're sort of in the woodlands, or you know, this sort of grass and spoons. I've missed that bit of the rock. Did you notice when I did it yesterday? Warm grey. Yeah, as I say, you might want to do a ruler. It's quite ragged on the edge, isn't it? Quite messy. There we go. My son was telling me this morning that I should get a better camera with some sort of microphone attached and something or other. And I'm thinking, I don't even know how to use the camera I've got that I use right now. I want a better one, but it's just going to have more functionality that I never use. I'm going over these dots, they're too small. I'm going to come in closer because I need to pull my book down a bit so I can reach it. Just gonna it's much quicker to do it like this than to do it in little circles. Now we're told to colour in little circles, aren't we, so that you can't see the lines, but to be honest I don't mind seeing the lines in the sky. Now be careful around here because you've left some white to make this look shiny, both in the gemstones and the metallic, so you don't want to go over it with your pencil, because yes, you can erase it, but it's just better not to. Get in there and remember to go in here so that it looks like a ring. So it would end up looking like a mirror, which is what I wondered whether it was, but I don't know. I'm nearly there, but I've got to make one last decision, and that is what colour to do these little dots. But I've got an idea, so I think I might just stick with my idea, which is to do them in a red glitter pen. I think because they're supposed to, I think they're magic, and the glitter is always nice and magical, isn't it? Now if you, I've gone right to the edge here and I shouldn't be, so maybe I need to leave that a bit more ragged there. If you sorry, just concentrating here, and I've gone right to the top. Maybe I should just go right to the edge. Maybe it's going to look neater. Yes, sorry, what I'm trying to say, and the words just aren't coming out, is that if you don't fancy colouring the gemstones, you could just do them all with glitter pen. I'm just going to go along the bottom with this as well, so we haven't got a strange gap along the bottom. Now, what we can do is make the corners look a little bit more exciting by putting a little bit more colour in. That's what I tend to do when I'm doing pastels. I'm wondering whether... I'm just wondering if we've got a colour though. Colour, we've got the ink blue, but it's really dark. I might just put a little bit in the corners. See how dark it is. Just the top, not the bottom. And then I'm going to go back over the top with the smoke blue to sort of blend it in. That's my phone ringing. My children aren't bothering to get it. Of course they're not. Oh, now they are. I think they're waiting for me. I'm just going to finish blending that bit in a bit, and then I'm going to get the phone. Hold on. Right, where was I? Oh yes, just making this sky look a little bit better. Yeah, with my mum on the phone and dad have a little natter, and then it was time to cook and eat, so I've come back to it with a full tummy and not a lot to go really. I'm just trying to tidy it a little bit. You can sort of use the slightly lighter colour almost as a blender, and also layer up a bit so that it just tones in. I quite like doing this a darker bit in the corner on a lot. I've done it on this one, look, with pastels, but I usually do it at the bottom as well, but the bottom is very different, so I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I rather like this way where it's tapering off, so I can't really do it here because we've got this sort of bit of gems and picture here. It makes it a little bit harder. I just do the best I can around here. There we go. You could use a blending pencil to just finish it off, but I'm going to leave it like that now, and I'm going to do my these little dots. Now I'm going to use a glitter pen. Now I've got my Stardust glitter pens. I'm going to use the red one, which is here. Yeah, these are the Gellyroll. You can use any red glitter pen, or you might want to use a sort of orangey red rather than a bright red, but I've only got the one red, so I'm just going to use it. At least my white pen is dry now. I've been away a long time, so that's good. Oops, I'm missing entirely. There we go. Yeah, my mum and dad were telling me they'd had a muntjac deer in their street. They live in a suburb, and they have a sort of street WhatsApp group, and one of the neighbours had reported they'd seen one in their garden, and then my mum was just sitting in her chair, which faces right out into the street, and suddenly she was, oh, look. So my dad videoed it on his phone, and shared it back on the WhatsApp. And then the next day he saw an RSPCA, Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, vehicle in the street, and the person was looking around, so he went out and spoke to her, and she said when the neighbours had reported that the deer was lame, but he showed her his video, she said, oh, it doesn't look like it is at all. So she was happy and confirmed that it was a muntjac deer, and that it wasn't a baby, which he'd sort of thought it was, but it was in fact an adult, because they don't grow very tall. So that was interesting. But anyway, there we go. I have finished. I'm happy. I was thinking about doing the little dots on the mushrooms a different colour, but I think the white really pops out and I rather like it. So there it is, our page. So thank you for watching. If you've watched all the way through, well done. It's been quite a long process. Maybe you've coloured along too. I don't know. If you have, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it either way. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.